One of my favorite things about this movie with you is that you get to do more stunts.
Yes.
So what is something that might make someone out there go, there is no way she's doing that on her own, but it's actually a stunt that you yourself are pulling it off?
I actually did a lot of the fighting in the kitchen scene, and I really wanted to. I really wanted to prove to Justin that I could do it, and I trained really hard in order to do it. So yeah, that was mostly me. I'm not going to say all me, but mostly me.
Can you tell me a little bit about the relationship between you, the actor, and either your stunt double or coordinator? What do you like to get from the stunt team in order to make you feel super comfortable and confident when you hit the set to pull that off?
To me, it's like choreography and a dance. And with me, it's got to be muscle memory. Like, you can give me direction as much as you want, but unless I have it in my body, I won't be able to do it. So God bless the stunt team, because I was meeting them like every day for an hour and practicing. I was like, let's go through it again. Let's go through it again. Let's go through it again. And they were probably so sick of me by the end, but that's what it takes for me to perfect it. So I just need repetition, repetition, repetition. And that's really what makes me feel safe. I need to get there on the day being 100% prepared. You cannot wing it. Because once they get the cameras in and you're in the set and it feels a little bit different, you still have to have it in your body. So that's what makes me feel comfortable. So patience is what I need from them.
Just because now I'm curious, can you compare and contrast that approach to your approach doing dialogue-heavy scenes? Do you also like to,
same thing.
Really study and know your stuff?
Yeah, I have to. It's similar to, it's the same thing like when I was in college. There were crammers, which I was always like, how are you able to do that? I'm not, I would have to take 2 hours a night and methodically prepare. I was never a crammer. And can you imagine cramming an action scene and being getting there and being what am I doing? That to me is my nightmare. So yeah, I can compare it to that. Same thing with dialogue. You have to slowly get it in there, and hopefully you have a supportive partner like I do, who constantly runs lines with me, because otherwise you're just lost.
Speaking of supportive partners on set, I love talking about the value of a good scene partner. Mm-hmm. So whether it's an F9 or any of the Fast movies, can you think of an example of a scene where you were having a tough time nailing it, but your partner in that scene, if not the director, pulled something out of you that you couldn't access yourself?
Yeah. Well, the scene with Paul in 5, where I'm petrified of jumping off the roof, I remember he made me feel really comfortable, and he made me feel like I could do it. Also, Justin and I have a shorthand because we've worked together on Annapolis, and then on 4, 5, 6, and now 9. So he knows how to trigger certain things in me. He knows how to push my buttons. So yeah. I trust him completely.
I fear I'm getting into too many specifics when you filmed this forever ago, but is there an example of how Justin pushed your buttons on F9 that kind of lit a fire in you?
Well, I think oftentimes with me it's bring up my kid, or bring up how it relates to that, or bring up sometimes Justin's so funny. Sometimes he'll just be clutch, and I'm just it'll be one word, and I'm just yes. Or sometimes it really helps me. I'm very practical. It helps me to go behind the camera and look at this, watch myself. I'm not one of those actors that's going to get neurotic and I am a neurotic actor, but I'm not gonna it helps me to watch the performance and go, oh, I see what's missing. I see what's not connecting there. So it's really nice when you work with directors who allow you to do that.
This isn't F9 specific, but someone recently told me in an interview that they learned early on that it wasn't appropriate to ask to look at dailies or to go behind the monitor. Have you ever been in that situation where a director is I don't want you to see this, but you need to for yourself?
Yeah, I have been in that situation, but I also grew up on the faculty. I remember they would show dailies during lunch. So you were able to watch the dailies, or you could ask hair and makeup, what do they look like? How's it looking? Or can I see, or oftentimes hair and makeup gets the dailies and you can sneak them. You're show me them. Or you have to know the right person in the crew. But yeah, it's kind of a drag. It's a drag when they lie to you and they're I'm sorry, we don't have playback. And you're just like, that's a lie. No. So yeah, it's very helpful to me because I can tweak things and be objective.
Yeah, I feel like I'm very detail-oriented and I like to study, so I can understand that way of approaching it.
Totally.
So, looking ahead a little, with F9, Jacob is a big motivating factor for Mia to return to the action and the mission. Is it safe to assume that family necessitates her return to that type of material in the movie going forward?
I hope so. I think, I would love to explore Mia and Jacob's relationship further. I feel like we touched upon the fact that I was in communication with him without Dom knowing. And that's like a big betrayal, and we never really addressed it. I also would love to explore, like, what is my relationship to Jacob? And I also think, I have these like teenage kids that I've sort of, for lack of a better word, quarantined. And are they breaking out? Are they like, what are they doing? Because they've got the Toretto blood in them too. And so what does that look like for them? And how does Mia manage that? I'd love to see that dynamic come out as well.
Bringing up her being in contact with Jacob, because I know you like to do your homework. Did you ever come up with, either like a backstory or a run-through of how those conversations went, what they talked about and things like that?
No, I think it looked more like Mia grappling for information or hunting him down, trying to find him, and him being really, really elusive and shut down. I think that's what that looked like.
So then what about doing the scene in F9 when you finally see him face to face? Because it's on screen for a split second, but that's a very telling moment.
It is, and those are the most, like, Justin loves giving me those. I had one, I remember there was like this massive scene between Dwayne Johnson and Vin, and I was screaming, Dom, and I'm the one to like get him to stop just through a look. And I was like, Justin, that's too much pressure. And that's kind of how I felt like on this, where with Jacob, like for a split second, like there's an acknowledgement there and then he goes away. But I loved the way it turned out. And on that, I didn't check the monitor and I just completely trusted Justin. But I was, I think it did speak volumes and I was really happy. But yeah, there's so much pressure when those looks come up because it's like there's so much to pack into those 2 hours of a movie.
It's powerful. It works.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Huge congratulations again.